Welcome to Uncle's channel. Thanks for watching today. And let's continue our journey to finish every single Game Boy and Game Boy Color game. And today focusing on a game called Captain America and the Avengers for the original Game Boy. Now, I'm not like a huge Captain America fan. There's a lot of other Marvel comics I like a heck of a lot more, like X-Men and Spider-Man. But as far as like Captain America goes, they are trying to pull in, the Avengers here. You have Iron Man in here, Vision in here, Hawkeye in here as well. And you're trying to take out Red Skull, who's basically got a giant laser cannon on the moon shooting at the earth trying to blow it up here. And so that's the basic plot for it. It is a side-scroller beat-em-up platforming game, and I have to say it is pretty darn rough. Evidently there are ports of it on the SNES and the Sega Genesis and maybe even in the arcade, but the Game Boy port, as you might suspect, is the worst of all of those versions, and it is plagued with a myriad of technical difficulties and just simply a overbearing difficulty in general. But we'll figure all that out and more as we journey through Captain America and the Avengers for the Game Boy. Now I'd like to start the views up, look at the box art for the game first, and the box art here for the game is pretty darn cool actually. You have Captain America like right there in the center, and like he looks very, very angry, ferocious, and just more upset than I've ever seen Captain America. And in the back corner you do have Red Skull, the primary antagonist, and he's always the main antagonist for Captain America. And even though I'm not like a huge Captain America fan, Red Skull has always been a intriguing enemy and such a demonic and ferocious force. Now as far as like the other characters on the screen here or on the box art, I'm not really sure who the fella in the blue over here is. Maybe Hawkeye, because you get to play as Hawkeye. Hawkeye always had like the sort of the V-shaped on his hood there. But I don't really think that is Hawkeye. I don't know. It just looked a little bit different. They don't really name anybody inside the game except for a Whirlwind and Red Skull as far as enemies go. So it could be one of them. Maybe Iron Man is behind Captain America there. Sort of similar colors, but I can't really tell because of the logo. And that's probably Vision in the far back in the gray. But once again, doesn't quite look like Vision. So I'm not really sure. There's a lot of characters on the box art here. But the game just simply doesn't do a good job naming which characters are in the game. And I guess I just simply don't know my Avengers as well as like some of the other comics. And so if you know all these characters, let me know in the comments down below. But I'm at somewhat of a loss on the characters here. Now when you load the game up here, the title screen has all your main heroes on it, all the Avengers. You have Iron Man, Captain America, Hawkeye, and I thought it was a Human Torch at first in the background, but it's actually Vision. And you'll learn that when you get to the character select screen. But it looks like Human Torch on the cover here. At least, it looks like a giant flame around him. Come on. And then Red Skull is obviously the villain. He's in the background like we mentioned already. Now you do get to select your character when you start the game up. And when you select your character, everyone's going to be very, very similar as far as like their attacks go. But Captain America is clearly going to be the best one. Captain America, when he throws his shield out, it actually comes back at a diagonal. Where all the other characters, when you shoot your laser out or an arrow out or like a blast out, it just simply goes out in a straight line and that's it. So if you want like a secondary attack, Captain America is always going to have it. But I do try all of them as I go. But Captain America is definitely the best one that you're going to want to play with through this playthrough. And the game is difficult enough where you're going to want the best character possible. Now when you begin the game, the storyline is a little bit convoluted here because it like swaps plots like halfway through the game here. It starts off just simply saying Red Skull has a new mind control device. And he's basically taking mind control over all the villains in order to try to attack and destroy the world. And it's our job to stop these villains. But that does beg the question, if he has like mind control capabilities, why didn't he just put like mind control over the Avengers or the population of the world in general? There's a lot of plot holes here, but like I said, this is a halfway through the game, they're going to abandon this plot line and go with a totally different plot for the rest of the game. Now in scene 1, there are going to be 6 stages you have to go through, and it's all going to take place like a cityscape or like a park or like climbing up a building, but it's all like within a metropolitan area. And you do learn your basic attacks here. Like Captain America does have his regular old punch here. He can also throw his shield out by just simply pressing the up and down button and the A button at the same time. You'll throw your shield out and it comes back to you. If you jump up in the air, press the attack button, you'll throw the shield out and it'll come back to you at a diagonal, which is a really helpful move. If you want to do a jump kick, sort of like in the Ninja Turtles game, you jump up in the air and you press the jump button again and you do a little jump kick or a little flying kick downward. But this is a really finicky move. It's one of the best moves in the game as far as like power wise. But when you execute the move, it only works like maybe 1 out of 4 times. It was very, very finicky. And I even looked in the manual, like how do you execute the jump kick? I was doing it right. It just simply, I don't know if the timing is like really precise on it, but I could almost never get the jump kick to work very well for me, which just simply meant I chose to use it not as often as I normally would have because I didn't want to get stuck in the air without an attack. Now pretty much every enemy in Area 1 are going to be these robot soldiers. Some are going to be on the ground, some are going to be on little jetpacks flying in the air. Some can shoot out 1 shot, some can shoot out 3 shots, but they're all pretty much the same aesthetic wise, and they all have an extraordinarily high HP as well. I'm playing the game on normal difficulty, which is the default setting for the game, But they take a heck of a lot of hits to ever kill these robot soldiers. And it would be nice every now and then if you could just simply get a normal enemy with like 1 or 2 shots in order to, move through the game a little bit quicker. But no, they like to really buff the HP up here. And there's actually a higher difficulty. And even when you finish the game, there's a challenge mode. And I'm thinking like to myself, like, how many hits would it take to actually kill an enemy on challenge mode if it's taking this many on normal difficulty? But regardless, as you're going through Area 1, halfway through it, you do come to a miniature boss battle. And the miniature boss battle doesn't say the name of the enemy, but it's just essentially a one-on-one fight against you and another character. And so not too bad here. I can't really tell if this is any particular character from the Marvel Universe. If you know, let me know in the comments down below which character this might be. But after you go through all 5 stages of Area 1, you do come across the main villain here. His name is going to be Whirlwind, and I've never heard of this particular Marvel villain, but it said his name in a little cutscene after this. That's how I knew it. But he can essentially turn into like a little tornado here, or a whirlwind, I guess, hence his name. And he can come and attack you in the whirlwind, and he's invincible to your punches, but you can still hit him with your shield while he's in his whirlwind stage here. And pretty much every boss in the game, I'm going to fall back on a tried and true strategy here, which is just simply get them in the corner and just simply start punching as fast as you can. And sometimes you can sort of get them, I guess, punch locked, I guess would be the right word, or stun locked. And you pretty much keep punching them and you can take their HP down pretty quick. But Whirlwind is our first main boss inside the game. Now Area 2 here is going to be more focused on like the skyline at nighttime. And you can see here, it's actually one of the prettier looking stages. And as you're journeying through here, all the enemies are going to be the same as Area 1. They're not going to branch out too much for this. And Stage 1 is just sort of a normal beat 'em up. But when you get to Stage 2, it actually changes the gameplay a little bit. And you're in like a little spaceship or spacecraft or hovercraft. And you're journeying through the air here, the skyline, taking out all the enemies as you go. And the enemies are still the same, except now they're like in their own little spaceships. And so it's not like a really fun level. It's actually just sort of a very average side-scroller shooter. There's nothing really special about it. There's no power-ups to get. You just simply dodge and attack the enemies as you go. And there's not a lot to say about it, except it's a very average side-scroller shooter here. Now halfway through Area 2, we do come across our next boss, and this boss is going to be like a rock soldier almost. Like he can sort of convert down to being like a rolling rock. And when he does that, he drops little bombs or little TNT sticks out behind him. I don't know which villain this is, if he's in the Marvel Universe or not. If you know, let me know in the comments down below. But I've never encountered an enemy in any Marvel game or any Marvel comics that I've read that was like a rock that could drop TNT. Please let me know down below because I am somewhat curious for this particular boss. But after you defeat him, you continue on through a few more normal levels. I do swap over to Vision at this point. And Vision, I do love the way he walks through the levels. He has like his arms crossed like this. And he just looks like he is so pompous and better than everyone else. Is that like a Vision character trait? I've not watched any of the Vision television shows. All I know about him is in some of the Avenger movies that I saw. I never watched that one television show, it wasn't Madam Web. That's a movie that got horrible reviews. What was that show? WandaVision. I've never seen his show. I heard it's really good. But does he have like sort of a pompous attitude? He definitely does inside this game. But anyway, he's not a very good character to play as, but his attitude is hilarious. It's also in Area 2, we get our next enemy, which is like a little ball that shoots out lasers in different directions here. And it's almost like a little mine, but I don't really think it is because it never blows up like a bomb. And so I'm just going to call it a bomb that shoots out lasers. And these are pretty easy to dodge, and for the most part, you can just simply run past them. You don't actually have to kill them in order to get the screen to advance like some of the other enemies. The bombs are almost always sort of a optional enemy to fight here. It's also in Area 2. I swap over from Vision to Hawkeye for a little bit, and Hawkeye is really no better than the other characters. Like I said, Captain America is the best, but he doesn't have a fun walk like Vision did, and he doesn't have like a, I don't know, a buff walk like Iron Man. A very ordinary character. I do use him to battle against the boss for Area 2, which I don't really know which boss this is in the Marvel Universe either. So it looks like the Man-Bat from Batman a little bit, but has like a helicopter move that he's like swinging something above his head. I don't know. If you let me know which boss this is, let me know in the comments down below because I am at a loss yet again. Now, area number 3 is going to focus more on a water aesthetic here, and we're going to start off on a Navy base, and we're going to fight our normal enemies like our robots and our little balls that shoot out lasers. Nothing really too much to write home about this level, but the second level in Area 3 is going to be one of the better levels inside the game. You journey in your little submarine here, and you're journeying through a side-scroller shooter, much like the last area had one, but this one is significantly better because it's going to actually journey up and down and more variety of enemies. You have like little bombs in the ocean, little scuba divers you're taking out. They shoot out like little, I guess, harpoons at you. A pretty good level as far as like aesthetic-wise go, and gameplay at the same time. And then for the third level, you journey back inside here for a side-scroller platforming, and I don't really understand this level. I ran for like 30 seconds left to right, and then the level was over. Like, it's the shortest level in the game. You don't have to fight anybody, and it's like, why is this even a level in the game? And then the fourth area for level 3 here is going to continue on the theme from the third one, except we get one brand new enemy. We get these giant mechanical fleas, which I don't remember ever having a giant mechanical flea in the Marvel Comics, but hey, maybe there's some scourge of the earth, and I just simply don't know about it. And we have a lot of them, and they're actually fairly hard to attack because your normal punch button doesn't actually go low enough to hit them. So you have to use your distance attack, like your shield, or like a jump kick to come down on them. So actually a fairly difficult enemy. And then the boss for Area 3 is going to be Cyclops. I think it probably isn't Cyclops, but he can shoot like lasers out of his eyes. And I don't know any other Marvel character that shoots the lasers out of their eyes. Why Cyclops would be a bad guy, I don't know. That means it's probably not Cyclops. But if you know again who this is, let me know in the comments down below. And then in the fourth level, we find out that Red Skull has changed his entire narrative. And now he's working on building a giant laser on the moon to blow the world up. And it's like, well, what happened to the other plan of like the villains, you know, turning all the villains mind control to attack us? I mean, I know we didn't take all of them out. We only attacked like 4 people. But anyway, so now that we got our new strategy here, we're going to have to journey our way to the moon in order to fight off Red Skull's new plan here. Now, the first and second area of level 4 is pretty much the same as the rest of the game has been. The same enemies, the same gameplay mechanics. The background does remind me a little bit of like the Technodrome from Ninja Turtles. I don't know if that's just simply me because I really enjoy Ninja Turtles, but that's what the aesthetics look like to me. Then we get to our first boss in level 4 here, and it's going to be a rock fella once again, a guy who can like conform into a rock, but he doesn't drop dynamite this time. He just sort of rolls around a little bit. And so I don't know if it's the same guy as last time. Is it a different rock fella? I don't know. Once again, feel free to comment down below who these enemies are. But the next 2 levels of Area 4 are going to be pretty much the same platform mechanics. I do get a little bit of a kick out of the one of these areas because like the little robots as they're coming at me, if they just simply stand back a little bit because you're jumping from platform to platform, they'll like walk off the edge of the platform. Their AI is pretty terrible here, and I take out, I'd say, at least half the enemies in this stage by not fighting them at all. I just stand back and wait for them to walk off the edge, and I can advance that way. But I actually enjoy when games allow me to sort of, you know, manipulate the game a little bit. So I had more fun in this stage than probably any other stage in the game. But it's not really how the game is meant to be played. And then the boss for Area 4, I have no idea who this could be. It looks like a little bit of a cow enemy to me to a degree. Can turn into like a little flaming comet and run back and forth on the screen and attack you. Same strategy I do for all the other bosses. Sort of get them in the corner and just attack as many as I can. But I don't know. It looks like a space cow, which I know Marvel does not have a space cow. Wait. Doesn't have a space cow? No, that's the Ninja Turtles. They got a space cow. The Marvel, as far as I know, does not have a space cow. Now, Area 5 is going to be very similar aesthetic-wise to Area 4. Still looks like we're inside the Technodrome here. Now, the midpoint boss for Area 5 looks like a John Travolta from Pulp Fiction. Got like a little tuxedo on, sort of dressed up, but then he can have like a football that he throws out and tries to hit you. So I'm going to call him Tuxedo Football Man. He's trying to take you out. You continue on through another couple of Technodrome levels, and then you come across the final boss in the game, which is Red Skull. Now, he does have extra health than the rest of the bosses. He has 125 health instead of just simply 100. And he is a little bit harder, but at the same time, he follows the same strategy of the rest of the bosses, and you can take him out pretty easily as long as you go in there with full health here. But he does have some weird moves. Like he can jump up in the air and like contort himself a little bit. Looks like a scarecrow or something. And he drops out dynamite on the ground, which is really easy to avoid. And the best time to ever hit Red Skull is he journeys off to the side and he starts throwing out like little skulls out at you. And he just stands there and you can just simply get a lot of punches in, take him out pretty quick. Actually, I wouldn't say he's the hardest boss in the game. He does have more HP, but he's not any harder than really any of the other ones. I actually might say he's a little bit easier than some of the other ones. But when we defeat him, we do get a little end cutscene here. It has all of our superheroes in the sky here journeying off from the moon base that we just destroyed. And it says like we've defeated Red Skeleton, we've saved the day, we've saved humanity. But our job is not done because evil has no end and somebody else will eventually arise, and then it unlocks challenge mode for us if we want to jump back into the game and play it again. And to that, I'm going to say no thank you. The credits do begin to roll here. We have finished the game, and overall, I just don't like this game. I don't think it's a very fun game. I think it's a very difficult game. The controls don't seem to work very well inside the game. The enemy variety is terrible inside the game. Pretty much the enemies you see in the first level are pretty much the same enemies you're going to see in the last level, with just ever so slight modifications and a few added in or scattered about as you go. The mid-boss enemies, I don't think they're even Marvel characters. If they are Marvel characters, they picked some really obscure people to put in this game that I have no idea who they are, and they made them, or they just simply made the sprites so convoluted that you have no idea. Now, they could have said who they are, like they told us who Whirlwind was. I mean, I could probably figure that out because he turns into like a little whirlwind. But, I mean, they could have told us that on some of these characters, but like, I don't know, like part of the fun of a Marvel game is recognizing Marvel characters and being able to battle against some of the villains that you know from the comic books. This game, if it has it, they did it in such a way that no one would know that it does have it. Like I said though, the levels are boring, the controls are terrible, the gameplay itself just isn't a whole lot of fun as far as like the gameplay loop. There's not a lot of variety to the game. Is it an absolutely terrible game? I wouldn't say. I'm sure there's someone out there who loves the game, but for me, I can't give it above a 3, and even a 3 is probably pushing it. I just simply going to give it a 3 because I did enjoy throwing Captain America's little shield out there, bringing it back, and I did enjoy manipulating the game, making some of the little robot soldiers fall off the edge. But there's really not a lot to like in the game. The soundtrack is okay. It's not terrible. And maybe I can count that into the 3 points that I gave it. But overall, 3 out of 10. Not worth your time to load up. But what do you all think? Do you enjoy Captain America and the Avengers? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos listed up above. And go out there, find a great game to play. Simply have a great rest of the day.